Swordfish are one of the largest and most powerful predatory fish in the ocean. With a long, sharp, sword-like beak that they use to cut through schools of bait fish and disorient their prey before swallowing them. They have a streamlined body, powerful muscles and the ability to swim at incredible speeds. Up to more than 90 kilometers per hour, swordfish meat is popular in the international market because of its rich flavor. Rich in protein and omega-3, making it very valuable commercially. Therefore, swordfish fishing has become one of the important fishing industries in many seas around the world, especially in places with large fishing grounds and abundant swordfish resources. Fishermen often use the longline fishing method, also known as longline fishing, to catch swordfish. This technique requires meticulous preparation and extensive experience, because dealing with an adult swordfish that can weigh more than 200 kilograms is not easy. Before the trip, fishermen prepare a mainline reel that is tens to hundreds of kilometers long, from which hundreds of short lines spread out, each with a large and sturdy hook, usually baited with mackerel, tuna, or fresh squid to attract swordfish. The line is let drift with the ocean current or slowly pulled by a boat. Buoys are attached to mark the position and keep the line at the appropriate depth. Usually from 30 to 100 meters below the surface, where swordfish often hunt. When a swordfish takes the bait, its first reaction is to rush away at terrifying speed, making the line as taut as a guitar string. Fishermen must be very calm, controlling the winch or crank to both hold the line and prevent it from breaking. The fight can last tens of minutes, even hours, depending on the size and strength of the fish. Swordfish often jump out of the water several times while being pulled. Swinging their beaks to escape, and if not careful, their strong movements can be dangerous for fishermen. When the fish is exhausted, fishermen use iron hooks or ropes to secure it, then pull it up to the deck. Longline fishing for swordfish is not only a physical and technical job, but also closely linked to the experience of the sea passed down from generation to generation. Each trip to sea is a challenging confrontation between humans and one of the most powerful warriors of the ocean, where victory brings not only economic value but also pride to those working in the sea. Once the captain has determined the location to drop the line, often based on experience, knowledge of currents, water temperature, and signals from fish finders, the sailor begins to lower the main line into the sea. Along with that are hundreds of fishing lines tied at regular intervals. Each round buoy in red, yellow or orange floats on the water to mark the position of the fishing line. The entire system is spread out like an invisible wall under the sea. Ready to block the path of wandering swordfish foraging for food, while the fishing line is being dropped. The whole boat maintains a slow and steady speed so that the bait can move gently, just like a real fish or squid swimming. This is an important factor, because swordfish are agile and intelligent predators. They rarely bite the bait if they see anything unusual. After all the lines are dropped, the boat begins to move around or drift naturally, and the entire crew enters a waiting period. This period can last several hours, sometimes half a day, while everyone's eyes are always on the buoys. looking for signs of a fish being hooked. The moment a buoy is discovered shaking violently or sinking, the whole boat becomes lively. The winch operator began reeling in the line, while one or two other fishermen prepared thick gloves to help pull in when the fish got too strong. Swordfish, when hooked, often reacted violently, darting dozens of meters in a matter of seconds, making the line squeal with tension. Many even launched themselves out of the water, their silvery bodies glistening in the sunlight, their sword beaks swinging wildly as if challenging the fisherman. These violent lunges could break the line or the hook if the fisherman did not adjust the tension properly. When the fish is brought close to the ship, the sailors use a gaff, a long pole with a large iron hook, to hook the fish's gills. Then combine the pulling strength of many people to bring it up to the deck. The sound of the fish's body hitting the wooden floor echoes. The sailor's rapid breathing is mixed with the joy of winning a tense fight. After being brought on board, the swordfish is quickly bled to maintain the quality of the meat. Then iced or put in a freezer right at sea for preservation. Each swordfish fishing trip is not only a livelihood, but also a challenge for the bravery, endurance and dexterity of the fishermen. They have to face big waves, strong winds, sunburn and even risks from the fish they are hunting. But in return, the worthy reward is giant swordfish, bringing high economic value and pride in conquering one of the most powerful fish species in the ocean. Those trips are deeply engraved in the fishermen's minds as both arduous and glorious memories, where they dared to face the fierce power of the ocean, and in the middle of the vast waves. The image of a silver-white swordfish soaring into the sky has always been a symbol of freedom and indomitability that people always yearn to conquer. Giant tuna, especially bluefin tuna, are one of the most economically valuable fish in the world, famous for their enormous size, endurance and incredible swimming speed. They can be over 3 meters long, weigh over 600 kilograms and travel at speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour, making them powerful predators in the mid-water and near-surface waters. Bluefin tuna meat is considered the red gold of the ocean, especially in Japanese cuisine, where the fatty belly meat can sell for tens of thousands of dollars each. Because of this value, giant tuna fishing has become a source of pride but also a challenge for professional fishermen in many large seas. Fishermen often use longline fishing to hunt this rare fish. A main line reel of tens to hundreds of kilometers long is prepared, from which hundreds of short lines spread out, each with a large hook made of hard steel, strong enough to withstand the terrible pulling force when the fish is hooked. The bait is usually mackerel, herring, mackerel or fresh squid, hooked in the most natural way to stimulate the tuna's hunting instinct. The line dropping takes place in offshore fishing grounds, where the ocean currents carry abundant schools of bait fish, also where giant tuna often appear. Once the captain has determined a suitable location, the line is dropped in sections, with buoys attached to keep the line at the right depth, usually from 50 to 200 meters. Giant tuna are wary and intelligent, so the speed of dropping and the way the bait moves must be carefully calculated. Simulating as closely as possible the real movements of live prey. The waiting time can last for hours, while the fishermen constantly observe the buoys for signs of abnormalities. The moment a giant tuna bites the hook is when the real battle begins. They often dart hundreds of meters in just a few seconds, causing the fishing line to stretch to the point of breaking. The winch on the ship must operate at full capacity, while the fishermen adjust the pulling force to both hold the fish and avoid breaking the line or the hook. Giant tuna have extraordinary endurance, can fight for hours in deep water, constantly changing direction and diving deep to escape. When the fish begins to become exhausted and gradually float, the sailors use iron hooks, gaff, or ropes to secure it, then coordinate with many people to bring it to the deck. Bringing a giant tuna onto the ship requires collective strength and caution, because even a flick of the tail can cause injury or damage equipment. Immediately after being caught, the fish is bled and immediately put in a cold storage or deep freezer to preserve the quality of the meat. Ensuring the highest value when brought back to shore. Longline fishing for giant tuna is not only a profession, but also a confrontation between humans and one of the most powerful creatures in the ocean. Each time a giant fish is pulled onto the deck, it is a victory that brings pride, sweat, and an unforgettable mark in the lives of those who live on the sea. Giant tuna hunting trips often last for days, even weeks at sea, where fishermen have to live in the cramped space of the ship. Always facing big waves, strong winds and sudden rains. During the day, they focus on casting lines, checking lines and observing buoys, while at night, the lights on the deck remain on to attract bait fish and maintain continuous fishing activities. Whenever a fish is caught, the entire crew immediately takes position, coordinating rhythmically to control the winch, balance the ship and control the fishing line. The feeling of fighting a giant tuna is a mixture of excitement, thrill and extreme tension. Fishermen must use all their experience to read the fish's behavior through the pulling force and direction of the line. If the fish rushes sideways, they will tilt the boat in that direction to reduce pressure. If the fish dives deep, they will release more line to avoid breaking. There are tunas so strong that the battle lasts more than 4 hours, testing the endurance of both people and equipment. When the fish finally floats to the surface, its giant body shining silver in the sunlight, it is the moment when all fatigue disappears. The crew cheers, but also takes absolute care when bringing the fish onto the deck. After being processed quickly to preserve the quality of the meat, the fish will be placed neatly in the deep freezer, waiting for the day to arrive at port. At auctions, especially in Japan, a standard bluefin tuna can sell for hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, making it a worthy reward for the hard days at sea. For fishermen, each giant tuna is not only a source of income, but also a testament to their skills. perseverance and fearless spirit in the vast ocean. On deck, under the starry sky or amidst the fierce waves, they continue their journey, because their passion and desire to conquer the strongest warriors of the sea never fades. Longline fishing trips for giant tuna often start very early, when the fishing port is still covered in fog and the yellow lights from the anchored ships shine. On deck, fishermen are busy preparing dozens of kilometers of fishing line, checking each steel hook, sharpening it, and choosing the freshest bait fish to retain the attractive fishy smell. Every operation must be done carefully because even a small mistake can ruin the whole trip. When the boat leaves the dock, the sound of the engine blends with the sound of the waves. The ship rushes out to the distant sea where cold and warm ocean currents intersect, an ideal environment for tuna to find food. When arriving at the fishing ground, the captain relies on experience and the fish finder to determine where to drop the line. The main fishing line is gradually lowered into the sea, the branches spread out at equal intervals. Each branch is kept at the desired depth by weights and buoys. On the water surface, colorful buoys drift lazily. Below is a wall of bait waiting for a giant school of tuna to pass by. While waiting, fishermen take a break but still keep their eyes on every small movement of the buoy. When a giant tuna bites, the fishing line immediately tightens. The buoy shakes violently or sinks completely, signaling that the battle has begun. The shouts are heard. The sailors immediately take position. The winch winds to pull the line, while a few people hold their hands on the rod or line to feel the direct pull from the fish. The fish darts like a silver arrow, sometimes diving hundreds of meters deep, then rising to the surface creating large waves. Fishermen must skillfully adjust the force and speed of the line, combining with releasing the line when necessary, to both hold the fish and avoid letting it escape the hook. The struggle can last for hours, testing both endurance and spirit. As the fish gradually weakened and floated closer to the surface, the silvery blue light on its body reflected in the sunlight, creating a moment that made the entire crew burst into tears. Immediately, they used gaffs to hook the gills or tail of the fish, coordinating rhythmically to pull it onto the deck. A giant tuna weighing hundreds of kilograms can take up almost all the space on the deck, making anyone who sees it admire. Immediately after boarding the ship, the fish are bled to keep the beautiful red color of the meat. Then iced or put in a deep freezer. This step must be done very quickly because every minute that passes affects the quality and value of the fish. When the ship returns to port, the giant tuna are brought to large fish markets or auctioned, where they can bring in huge sums of money for the ship owner and crew. For the fishermen, this achievement is not only a material reward, but also a testament to their courage, skillfulness and perseverance when confronting the giant warriors of the ocean. On every long trip, the life of the longline giant tuna fisherman is always associated with the harshness of the sea. During the day, they work continuously under the scorching sun, sweat mixed with the salty sea air, their hands calloused from pulling the line, removing bait, and handling equipment. At night, when most of the world is asleep, They still work under the yellow light, eyes on the dark sea to monitor the buoys and signals on the positioning device. The sound of waves crashing against the ship's side, the sound of wind whistling through the taut ropes, all create a familiar sound that any veteran seafarer knows by heart. During the journey, every time a fish bites, the whole ship puts all its strength into it. The giant tuna never give up easily, they dart like bullets through the water, change direction suddenly and dive deep to escape. The fishermen have to work together like a well-coordinated machine. One person keeps the tension on the line. One person adjusts the winch. One person stands by the side of the ship with gaff in hand, ready to hook the fish when the time comes. Everyone understands that just a small mistake can cause the fish to escape, meaning the whole day's effort is lost. The moments when a giant tuna is brought to the deck always bring a strong feeling of victory. The fish's body shines blue and silver in the sunlight. The thick and firm flesh is proof of an arduous battle. After being properly processed and preserved, the fish are neatly arranged in deep freezers, waiting to return to port. When arriving at the dock, each fish is not only a source of great income but also a source of pride for the entire crew, because they know they have conquered one of the most powerful and difficult to catch fish species on the planet. In the vast ocean, fishermen who catch giant tuna with long lines continue their journey every day. Continuing the stories of perseverance, courage and the desire to conquer the ocean. For them, each trip to sea is not simply a fishing trip, but also an adventure, where people and the ocean compete in intelligence and strength, and then return with worthy spoils and unforgettable memories.